Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So in this video, I'll show you how to create a floating form. Okay, you must have seen in my previous videos how to create a subscription form or contact form in HTML and to display it in the front end of your web page or a website. So today I'll be showing you how to create a floating form or rather a floating subscription form. So what does that mean actually? So like suppose this is a web page, okay, the whole web page. So floating subscription form means the subscription form will be there right at the center of the web page, okay, and then the name, the email address and everything will be there, and then a subscribe button will be there. Okay, so how to create this particular floating form which will come in the center of your web page for your subscribers or for your viewers. Okay, so first of all we'll see without the HTML and the whole coding, and then we'll add the CSS file as well. Okay, so let's get started. So we'll start with the doc type. And then let's add the HTML tag and the head tag. Okay, and then I'll be telling the that we need to set on the language, right, like we do every time. So I'll use the UTF-8 over here, and then you have to also determine in the HTML itself, like if it is, suppose the viewer is viewing in a cell phone or let's say a tablet, then it should be in same format like in laptop or a desktop. Okay, so you have to name the meta name as viewport, and then whatever content you are displaying, that should be the width of that particular content should be according to the device width. So it will be like auto adjustable, whatever device you are using, it will auto adjust itself. Okay, and then you have to just write the initial space as well. So I always take the initial space as 1.0. Okay, then next we have to do the, suppose I'll give a title to this. So let's say the title, so floating subscription. Okay, so this is the title. Okay, next I'll move on. As I said, like we will be adding the CSS file as well. So for that you have to write the link and then the Arial. So I'll write as style sheet. Okay, and then after this you have to write on the type as well, like what type tags it's actually a style sheet, so it's in a form of a text CSS. Okay, and also the link of your file wherein your CSS is there. So I'll just mention it as blank right now. Okay, now next what I have to do is, so what you have to do is you have to close on the head and then move on to the body part wherein you have to create your subscription form, right? So let's move on to the body part. So here we have to start on with the, like it's a floating subscription form, right? So you have to create a div class wherein your subscription form should be overlaid in your web page, right? So for that we'll create a div, and then so div class will be equal to overlay, because we are overlaying the form in the whole web page, right? So it should be overlay, and then after that you have to just write the div class. What's the type? It's a type of a subscription form. Okay, so I'll take subscription form, and I just close this off, and I'll also write subscription form, just a heading like subscribe to our newsletter. Okay, and then this, close this head. Now you have to go on to the form. So we have to do the form, use the form tag, and then inside that the action button we will be adding. So action And after that you have to like what kind of method it is. So we have to determine the method. So it's a kind of post wherein like people can enter the details and they can subscribe to your website. So the method would be post. Okay. And what would be the input type? So the input type will be in the form of an email. Okay. And like what would be the placeholder? So the placeholder will be like enter your email. Okay. So okay, and it's compulsory, like you should enter your email, then only you can go ahead and click on subscribe. So suppose we write it as required and then close this off. Okay, now this is done. Now that we have a place wherein like it will be something like this. We have a subscription form right in front of the web page, and then there is a place wherein you can enter your email address. The placeholder will be written here, like enter your email address, right? And then you should have a button which is like submit for a subscription form, right? Like submit your subscription form. So for that, right over here you have to create a button. So what would be the button type? So first we'll write, so button type will be in a form of a submit. Okay, because we have to submit the form. So I'll just write submit, and then you can just name your button. So I'll just write it as subscribe. Okay, and then close the button tag. So once this is done, now what you have to do, this part is done. So now you have to close on your form. Okay, so now form is closed. Okay, the div is closed. Okay, this div is closed. Now the body is closed. Next you have to close off the HTML. Okay, and just save it. So this is how your HTML will look like. Okay, you have created a heading which is a subscription form, and then inside that you have the main heading. This is basically a title. This is the main heading wherein it will show you subscribe to our newsletter, and it will have a place wherein you have to enter your email. Okay, and then it will have a button like subscribe. Okay, so this is the whole front end, how it will look like. Now what you have to do is we have to do the styling of this particular. So we'll take another file, write in the Sublime Text editor, and then we'll start our styling. Okay, so we'll start the CSS styling. So let's do first the body. So we'll keep the margin. So you can keep the margin as we do. So like the default one. So, and the padding also set to 0. Okay, and then the font family, which I always take, so Arial and sans serif as the property value. Okay, for this particular font family. So body is done. Now what you have to do, you have to go ahead and do the styling for the overlay as in the subscription form should be overlaid in your web page right at the center, right? So for that you have to do the styling. So I'll start with the position. So position, I want to keep it as fixed in the center. So I'll just write it as fixed. Okay, I want the top, bottom, left, these we can keep as 0. So top, left. Okay, and then after that the width and height you have to decide for the overlay. So I'll take the width first of all, and I'll keep it as 100%. So this can be 100%, and then the height. Okay, you can adjust it according to your requirement. Okay, and then after that you have to give some background color as well to your form, right? Because you're styling it. So let's say the background color, it's RGBA, and I'll keep this to 0.7. Okay, so please do comment in the comment section if you want to know like why RGBA and what does this 000 and this 0.7 stands for. Okay, And then next we have to display it in a form of a flex, right? So we'll write as display and then flex as in it will come in a square form, the subscription form, like a rectangular form it will come, and the content should be should be there in center. So for that you have to justify the content, so we can write justify content and center, and the alignment of the item, okay, like the form. So align item center. Okay, this is done. Now we have to go on with the subscription form. So we'll just write dot subscription form. Okay, and then inside that you have to put all the the elements, like where is its background color, the padding, the border, the text alignment, if you want to give any shadow to your form, stuff like that. So we'll start with the background color. So we want to pick the background color. I'll take it as triple F. Okay, and then the padding you have to do. So for padding we'll keep it as 20 px. Okay, 20 pixels. Fine. Next, it's up to you, like if you want you can give the border a radius or you can make it a broader one. Okay, I'll set up the radius as 5 px. Okay, and then after that I want my text to be aligned in the center. So for that I'll take the text alignment and then center. Okay, and after that I also want my shadow to my subscription box. So I'll just add a shadow over here. Okay, so box shadow, and let me take this and let me change this to 0.5. So it's up to you, you can adjust this one. Okay, the values you can adjust, and accordingly you can adjust the shadow of the box, what kind you want, like how much should be the pixel of that particular shadow. Okay, now this is done. Now next we have to move on to the header of the form. Okay, that's like subscribe to our channel, that one. So for that you can just write subscription form and then h2. Okay, so that's our header, and inside that you can mention the margin, like what should be the distance wherein you are writing your email address. Okay, so we can write it should be 20 px. Okay, now next styling which we have to do is the input which you are giving to the subscription form, right? So subscription form and then the input. So input, we are taking the type as email, so we'll just mention the type as email. Okay, now this is done. You have to just open the braces over here, move on to it, and just decide the width and everything. So width is 100% suppose, and then you move on to the padding and margin and border. So padding is suppose 10 px. Okay, then the margin, so suppose I'm choosing the margin as 10 px again, so 10 pixel. Okay, and then the border, so I'll choose the border as just a thinner one, so just 1 pixel, and should be solid. Okay, that means a black color. Okay, and then the radius, so border radius. Okay, so let's say I keep it as 3 px. Fine, this is done. Now we have written everything. Now we have to do the last stuff. The last stuff is we have to style the button, how it should look like, right? So for that you have to just write subscription form and then button. Okay, open the brackets, and after that inside it you have to decide the background color, how what should be the color of your the button. So I'll take it as blue. So let's say for that okay, this is for background color, and next we'll decide the color. So after the color is done, next we have to go on with the padding, right? So we'll go with the padding, and then I'll just write 10 px and then the 20 px for the subscription button. Okay, once this is done, I'll move on to the border part. I just want to give a border to it, and then inside the border, let's say if you want, you can give. I'll keep it as none. Okay, and then after that, give the border radius as well. So I'll keep the border radius very thin, so I'll take it as 3 px, and then I want my cursor, when I, like when you're hovering your mouse over there, it should come in a point, as a pointer. So I'll just write the cursor tag, and then inside it I'll mention pointer. Okay, this is done. Now hovering also should come, like when you are hovering your mouse to the subscribe button, it should come over there, right? So for that you have to write subscription form and then button. Okay, over. Fine. So inside that, what we need to just mention, we need to just mention the color. It's up to you. You can mention according to your choice whatever color you want. So I'll just mention. Okay, now my whole CSS is done. Okay, next what we have to do is we have to just put in the href the HTML which we have created, our CSS name. So CSS name is form.css. Right, now what we have to do, save this off and save the CSS file as well. Okay, and let's quickly go on and check out our output. Okay, now if we see the output, it will be something like this. Now if you see, this is the whole web page, and then in the web page, like this is how it is overlaid. Okay, and this is the subscription form which comes here. It's your, this one is your tag, that is the h2 tag which we wrote inside our HTML code, and this is the place wherein you will enter your email. So if you see enter your email is written, so that is known as the placeholder which we wrote in our HTML. Okay, this is placeholder, and then the subscribe button will come up right over here. Okay, so after adding on the CSS and everything, you see this is the background color which we did, and this is what is the color of the button and everything. So this is how the whole output will look like, right? So hope you guys like this video. If you did, you know what to do. You can hit the bell icon and please subscribe to our channel in order to receive the latest updates on video, whichever we upload on coding. And we will meet you guys in our next video with a new topic. Thank you so much guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.